Improper storage of food items allows bacteria to grow and thrive, causing food spoilage that leads to wastage and potential food poisoning. In this video, you will learn the 5 key principles of good storage practices that can preserve the quality and wholesomeness of your food items. The first principle is to protect food items from potential contamination. To do this, you should only store food in clean food-grade storage containers to prevent contamination by foreign matter. Any incoming raw materials should be received at appropriate areas, away from the movement of finished products or ready-to-eat foods. Food storage areas should also be situated away from toilets, dust, smoke and other contaminants. Your utensils and crockery should be stored on clean raised shelves and racks. Remember to keep the storage areas clean, not cluttered, and pest-free. The second principle of good storage practices is to maintain optimum storage conditions. Any food items received should be stored at the designated areas, under optimal storage conditions with sufficient storage space. All food items or ingredients should be kept off the floor and away from the wall. Cooked food items which are hot should be blast chilled before storing into a chiller or freezer. Remember, microorganisms multiply rapidly in food when stored at the temperature between 5 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius. This is known as the temperature danger zone. Therefore, you should always keep cold food below 5 degrees Celsius and hot food above 60 degrees Celsius, outside of the temperature danger zone. Food items that require ambient or cool storage should be stored in an area that is cool, dry, well ventilated and away from the sunlight. Storage conditions may differ for some food items. These conditions will be indicated on the packaging by the manufacturer. For example, refrigerate after opening. The third principle of good storage practices is to ensure proper segregation between cooked food, raw food and other items. Where possible, raw and cooked food items should be stored in separate chillers or freezers. Otherwise, cooked and raw food should be segregated by having the cooked food kept above the raw food at all times. Raw red meat, white meat and seafood should be properly segregated from one another. All expired, spoiled, damaged and rejected food items should be sealed, labeled and segregated in a designated area until they are disposed of appropriately. Cleaning tools such as mops and brooms, and cleaning agents, should be kept at a designated area, away from food storage and preparation areas to prevent contamination. Personal items should also be kept at the allocated staff lockers or areas. The fourth principle of good storage practices is to ensure proper product identification and traceability. Food items should be rotated based on the first in first out, or first expire first out basis. Adequate records should be kept to monitor the stock movement. Having proper labeling allows proper stock rotation, and is also useful for traceability purposes, in the event of a food recall. Examples of date marking on food products includes use by, sell by, expiry date, best before, and packed on. The fifth principle of good storage practices is having records and maintenance. You should monitor and record the temperature readings of chillers and freezer regularly. This is to ensure the storage temperature does not fluctuate too much from the set temperature, as it might affect the shelf life of the food product. You should also engage regular maintenance service for both chiller and freezer. Regular maintenance of freezer can prevent the formation of ice crystals on the ceiling, walls, and floor of the freezer, as well as on the food. Here is a summary of the 5 key principles of good storage practices. The first principle is to protect food items from potential contamination. The second principle is to maintain optimum storage conditions. The third principle is to ensure proper segregation between cooked food, raw food and other items. The fourth principle is to ensure proper product identification and traceability. The fifth principle is to monitor and record the temperature readings of chillers and freezer, and to engage regular maintenance of both the chiller and freezer. Let's work on preserving the quality and wholesomeness of your food items. Thank you for watching this micro-learning video, brought to you by FM1 International.